As many of you know, Sue Scambus is still on vacation. We will be so happy to have her back next month. Nobody more than me. Stan?
I just want to make one announcement. We've had the T-coil system installed, turned on. If in fact you're unfortunate enough to have hearing aids and they have the T-coil app, I would appreciate it if you would turn it on, let me know afterwards if it did any improvement for your hearing while you're here. Thank you.
It's a nice resource, so. Okay, so blank faces on the T-coil thing. It is a system that sort of enhances your hearing aids, and I think we've had it, but it hasn't really been turned on before. Is that correct, Stan?
It was disrupted during the pandemic.
Okay, so there's an app involved. If you have it, you probably know. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Okay? All right, so. Should I touch that? Oh, click on it. Cool. Okay. First slideshow ever, you guys. So before I get into what our various committees are up to, I do want to give you a brief overview of what we heard from Jim at the last resident council meeting. He reported in some depth about the redevelopment plans that are just beginning. It's kind of exciting. A market study is underway to determine the appropriate mix of residences and amenities. And the current concepts that they're looking at are, the villas and the apartments, maybe some retail space, wellness facilities, restaurants open to residents and the public, and a performing arts center. So this is all beginning phase that they're just starting to look at it. But the idea from what it sounds like is that they're trying to make us part of the community and, bring people in. I think it's a great idea. Can you hear me all right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So come to the next town hall meeting and hear it right from him, because they'll be further along in the process. That is August 26th at 10 o'clock. And I think it's really we're entering an interesting phase. So come to that, and you see all the people. Nope. Help. No. Where did she go? I'm hitting all the wrong stuff here. The third one. There. Oh, Lynn Esco. Why don't you come on up and tell us a few things.
Welcome, everybody. Health and wellness is just flourishing in our community. I do know from Jim, when Sue said that we're going to do some expansion. When we do expansion, Jim and the CEO sort of guaranteed that there will be expansion in the Oaks also, because we need more beds over there. Right now we're completely full, and we need some more beds. So that's number one. Okay, 2, we have 2 very, very, very good seminars that we're going to do this month, besides a bunch of others, but 2 of them I'm really, really pushing for. One is how to safely get off the floor, all right? Chris Atkinson, who heads up the physical therapy, is going to do that on Wednesday. I think it's the date. August the 19th. And he's going to do it and show us, those of us who have bad knees, bad hips, who can't get down off the floor or up off the floor, how to do it so that maybe we can do that before calling our 911 to pick us up. The second thing that I think is really, really good is going to be August 17th at 3 o'clock. Kelly, who heads up our memory care, is going to do a fantastic seminar called Friends to Friends to the End, and it's going to talk about communication with people who have some cognitive issues. You know, people that we have lunch with and that we interact with, our spouses, our friends, etc. So those are the really two huge things. And there's a bunch of other things in the Green Horizon. Please, please support all of these things. That's it. I'm done.
Okay. Get it? Cool. So, sorry about the light type, it was a template. Since Richard and Phyllis are out of town, they asked me to go over these things for you. Exciting to have Harry doing the Journey in Life talk. I think he's done it once before. He has so much to offer. If you can come, I know you'll be enriched by it. That's on the 19th. Tom Scott at 3 o'clock doing Japan and Me, an Imperfect History. Tom has a lot to offer. He's very witty. He has had a lot of good experiences. Things that none of us will have had experience before, so he's definitely worth listening to as well. September 9th, the Live and Learn series will resume with Steve Barta. He's been here before, hasn't he? Here to discuss Venezuela. And beginning in September, Lifestyle is eliminating the Monday ice cream socials. They were not well attended, so it was kind of a waste of resources. They will be doing other types of sweet treats. So I know we'll all want to support that effort, right? Okay, sales, my favorite. Just to catch you up on where we are with that, at the end of July, occupancy was at 92%, and we had attrition of 3 units, and we are expecting 5 closings in August. And we had, I think 6 in July and 5 in June, or vice versa, but they're very steadily having closings. 65% of our staycations result in contracts. If you ever wonder why we spend so much time and effort on making that a good experience, that's why. That is a great return. This is an interesting little factoid for you. And it's unusual considering the amount of investment we all put into moving in here. The average amount of time from the very first tour someone takes here until they sign or leave a deposit, that's 27 days. 27 days, that's amazing, in less than a month. So if sales can get people here on the campus, you know, wonderful things happen, and that's all to our benefit, so yay. If you see visitors, they now have blue ribbons for people who are visiting. The green ribbons are for new residents, the blue ribbons are for guests and visitors, so you know to welcome them, okay? The next newcomer orientation is next Tuesday. If you have never been to a newcomer orientation, or it's not real fresh in your mind, come to that. You should be getting an invitation from Missy. It's Tuesday, the 18th at 10 in the private dining room. It's a very nice event. I mean, it sounds like it should be very dry and boring. It's not. It's a nice event. You get a lot of information. This is because we're having it in the private dining room. It is aimed primarily at newcomers and their new resident liaisons. Let's see. Oh, this is exciting. There will be a contract refresher coming up, and this is something we encourage everybody to attend. I urge you, because it circles back. You know, people say, but what about this, and what about that, and what if I need a higher level of care, and what if there's no room, and what if this happens and that happens? And you can hear it over and over, and it doesn't land every time. Jim spent a lot of time going over this with us at the last resident council meeting. Yeah. Hello, sorry. And it was surprising how many of us who've been here quite a while and kind of know the ropes were hearing things refreshed or put differently, and really wanted you all in the loop on that. The important thing to remember is just because we're growing and our facilities are pretty full, your contract doesn't change. Your contract doesn't change. You are still entitled to what was promised to you when you signed it. And it's up to the team to figure out how to implement that. But a contract is a contract. So please come to that. Strongly encouraged. And here is a little bit of what was said during the conversation. I do apologize for how light this is. Just pretend that you know what it says up there. Okay, I'll read it real quick. Village residents receive priority placement. Resident needs are reviewed weekly. So the team is aware of who might need extra care. No resident has been permanently transferred elsewhere because of a lack of space. That's not going to happen. Village on the Green would assume costs if temporary outside placement were ever necessary. Life Space Personal Services is available for additional support, and you're encouraged to review your long-term care policies and provide copies to the administration. And just in case you ever wondered, there are state health requirements that all incoming residents must pass. They have to qualify. So, thought you'd want to know that. And I also thought you might want to see the ad that we have. This is primarily used on streaming platforms. Hey there, Grace. New person. We love Grace. I'm going to be getting a schedule of when this will be used, but it's not necessarily used on cable networks. It's on streaming platforms primarily. But just have a look. This is what's out there. And I just click on that. Okay.
The best moments are the ones you can savor. A beautifully prepared meal, a day full of laughter. At Village on the Green in Longwood, we offer every element for a life infused with magnificent flavor, where living well takes on new meaning. From fun nights that create lasting memories to quiet moments that enrich your spirit. More than a place to live, it's a way to live.
Thank you. Yeah, it's bring your own canoes, really. And, yes?
Could you tell us again the contract refresher? What date is that?
The contract refresher is on, let's see.
Tuesday, the 18th at 10 a.m. in private dining room?
No. Contract refresher is September 2nd. There are going to be 2 sessions, so it can, work around your schedule. One's at 11 and one's at 2. Okay? September 2nd at 11 and 2 o'clock. It's worth doing, you guys, it really is. Okay, so, had a lot of new people. If I neglect anybody in this, my apologies. These are all the people who've actually moved in that I'm aware of in the last few months. That doesn't include people who have contracted and not moved in, who you may see around because they have meal credit and they may come and enjoy their meals, but Yeah, just be aware, and if you take a look at the pictures next to the sales office, you will see pictures of everybody in case you're wondering who you should be greeting, and hopefully they're wearing their green ribbons. So Stan, do you want to say anything about?
Sean told me to get close to the mic. Anyway, that T-coil thing I had listed was just an embellishment to the hearing system here. You may have it, you may not. We're still working to find out if it does improve it. What I do want to talk first about is the hot wire testing that will be going on this week. And Sean will be sending out a notice. They just have to come into your unit for about 1 minute and see if the signal is there. And then the following week will be the actual start of the installs. I don't know who the first one will be. If whoever it is, give me a call back and let me know what's going on. With regards to the sound systems embellishment, we have finally chosen a contractor, and the bid has been approved. We're now just waiting funding. It will be in the Longwood Room, the lounge, the Heron Club, the Sable area, and the PDR. Each area will have a volume control, but it is only one signal, so it's the same signal that will go to each and every room. And so that's it with that. Out back. Okay.
Stan,
So that's, yes.
you want to mention that for people with hearing aids, they can't get if they do not know if they have T-coil, that they can get an adaptation. They have their hearing aids adapted, but not all hearing aids are adaptable.
As we go into the discussion of hearing aids, there's a fantastic article in the Consumer's Report telling you, evaluating all these units from the $1,000 ones down. And what Dick has said is true. Not all hearing aids can do T-coil. However, if you find out from your provider if it can be, then an app can be added to your phone, and so that you can use it in getting an embellishment. I'll be very honest with you, I've got it installed and I can't tell the difference. So anyway, if you get a chance, look at that. If you're thinking you may need hearing aids or just considering what the information, the Consumer Report article is on it, and I've given it to Jane Wahlberg, and hopefully she will give us a condensation of it and help us if you have any questions about it. Anything? Thank you.
Stan, do we have any dates for completion of putting the packages inside the villas, particularly on the circle? Hot wire.
Hot wire.
Yeah, hot wire.
The villas do not have any of the boxes yet.
Sean?
Yes. Sorry, what's the question?
Do we have any dates yet when we can expect installation of hot wire in the villas?
They did not start going by groups. They offered up the appointments to everybody who first responded, so it's first come, first served. So I wish I could tell you they're gonna start in building A and work all the way through E and F, then do the villas. Whoever has appointments, the very first appointment is being done, it's said on Wednesday of next week, they start. And then following after that, sorry, you can't hear me though.
John, this is not the point, the installation of the boxes inside.
So I was gonna say, so hot wire has actually brought fiber to every single person's dwelling. You don't know it, but outside of your house in the villas, there's a small gray box that actually has been installed. From that point, when you have your installation date, say for example, yours is on Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock. When your installer shows up, he actually brings the cable inside and installs all the equipment at one time. So what Stan was saying, this week, they're just gonna be going by everybody's unit And what they have to do is they have to test with a light meter to see the signal strength, just to make sure everything's perfectly in line with what their systems need to be and what's required to be able to give you guys the full service. It's literally gonna take them 1 minute. They walk in. For anybody who has an apartment, you'll see there's a small, a small white box that's been installed in the closet just inside the front door. He plugs a light meter in, he sees a signal, he leaves. They're just making sure that when the installers come in next week, all they're gonna do is plug in and it's gonna fire up and you're good to go. Yes?
So let me just repeat, so that for those of us who don't have that box where they could plug it in and test, that'll be installed when they install?
Correct. So the villas they work a little bit operationally different because it's not coming from one central location where it does in the buildings. Every one of the villas has a direct line back and it's all individual for the villas.
They're testing that signal strength.
And they're just testing the signal strength. It's not a signal strength, it's light strength. It's fiber. It runs on light now. It's not on a signal that the old system with Centrix ran on copper no longer exists. This is running off light, it's fiber, it's quick. Anybody else? I don't want to take Stan's thunder over here.
Are you saying that they don't have to come in the villas, inside the villas?
Right now, they will not have to, but when they come for your installation date, they will come in. And what they'll do is they install the equipment, they move all of your equipment that's on the current system over to the hot wire system, they will leave. Do not be upset, they're just there to set it up. Once they're about 15 minutes away from being completed for the install, they then call the secondary unit, which is called the educators, who are gonna come in and spend the hour with you to sit down and take the remote and say, these are the new remotes, this is how you turn on the TV, this is how you surf through your channels, this is how you find your apps, this is how you record a channel. Do you have any other questions? And they'll sit down and spend the time with you at that time. It will not be the installer's responsibility to sit down with you and give you a full overview of everything about Hotwire. They're there to get you moved from one system to the next, test to make sure everything's running above par, and then they call the next guy in who'll sit down with you. Yes?
The one who's coming in to do the education, will they have something in hand, some sort of a...
So I haven't seen, the question was, will they have something in hand, basically a cheat sheet, I'm assuming is what you're asking for. I don't know how the install went down at Abbey Del Rey and the Waterford and everything else, but they're already well into using the system. I have asked for a synopsis of how this works with them for the install, but they haven't really clearly come through. I would like to, and I've made mention to them, they should include a sheet that's basically a picture of the remote and says what the functions are. So when they leave, you guys have some type of reference. But I'm pretty sure they've been extremely organized and everybody else seems to be happy in the other communities with what was left with them. So I'm pretty sure they do that. Yes?
We've been asked to list our streaming services and our passwords for all that. So that's the second requirement. When they come in to educate us how to use it.
So I was going to say, the original the question was, if I have apps, say Netflix, Prime, anything else you guys have subscribed to, they've asked for the login credentials for that. Because what they're going to try and do is, when you get your Hotwire stick installed, it runs applications as well. They're trying to get you so you only have to use the single input on your TV, so you're not remembering to go back and forth between different services. So on their app, it's going to show all the apps, showing Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon, Hulu, who else you're using. If you have the login credentials, they're going to log you into that, so you don't have to go back and forth. If, like a lot of people who have their kids who have signed them up on Netflix or whatever else the app is, and they don't have access to the actual username and passwords, don't worry. Your TV is still going to be connected to the internet. You can still use the original apps on the TV. You do not have to move over to the Hotwire stick to be able to run them. You can still run, as you're currently running, those apps on your smart TV. So it just makes things easier so you don't have to go back and forth between two different inputs if you're able to get it set up on the Hotwire. But if you can't, don't worry about it. It will still work.
One other thing, should you forget what he's told you, there are, if you go to YouTube, there are apps on how to use the remote. For those of you who have TiVo, it's pretty much all the same. But if you go there, they will give you a 2-minute run on how to use the remote.
One last one in the left corner. Yes?
You sent out, I think in one of your notices about that, anyway, they a number for Hotwire, 866 number.
Correct.
And I called the other day because I was unsure about the date that I had for my personal install.
Yeah.
Someone actually answered the phone, and my date that I had was not the one they had.
So what I'm gonna try and do, the statement was that she called in to the 1866 number, which is where you guys need to call for support. She was asking about the date she was supposed to have the install done, to just verify it was on the right date, and her date that she had on the paper was different than what they had within their system. There will be hiccups that way. I am asking them for a spreadsheet with what has been confirmed for install dates. So if you guys have forgotten, you can call me and I'll give you that information. If you're calling in and you're not getting any kind of response, meaning the service basically will take in a call and say, you know, Sean, thank you very much for calling in. What are you looking for? I'm going to say, I really want my install date, or I want to change it. They're going to take my information and then they refer it to Adam's team. Adam's the young black gentleman who's here on site. He's the account manager for Village on the Green. Either himself or one of his team members will reach it back out to you. There has been some lag on them responding. I have been kicking them a few times to make sure they're trying to speed up their responses to you. But if you're still needing help, I'm always here for you guys. If you guys have noticed, a few of you, I have been sending direct emails into their team and they do get back to you right away. I don't know if there's a disconnect between both of the departments, because that support line is really there to try and help you out with support on a system already running. All right? Anybody else? I don't want to take everybody's time on this. It always seems to. Okay. Oh, and again, the last thing I'm going to say, you're going to see another Blackboard go out. I'm going to try and direct this Blackboard message to people who have not responded yet as to whether they're going to go with Hotwire, or they're going to stick with Spectrum, or if they just want me to leave them alone, period. But it's going to be the last warning I'm sending out, so I don't need someone who gets the Blackboard to say to somebody else, oh, we're all getting a warning that it's all going to be cut, the Centrix, the senior TV is being cut off at the end of August. If you do not receive this message from Blackboard, you've been taken care of. You're either sticking with Spectrum or you're moving to Hotwire, and I know you have an appointment. This message is going out to the people that have not responded yet. You have until August 31st to secure an appointment. Doesn't mean your service has to be installed by August 31st. It means you have to have an appointment after that date, and I can tell you what the price is going to be now. If you do not sign up by August 31st and you decide to hang on for a month or 2 months and say, hey, I really want that Hotwire service, it's going to cost you $93 a month instead of the $42. All right, so everybody here is currently a resident. You guys are getting the good introductory price for the rest of this year and next year. I cannot tell you what the service rate is going to be in 2028, but I can tell you right now, you guys are secured at $42 a month for 2026 and 2027. If you don't sign up by the 31st, and I know it sounds like a broken record, and it's going to be a very nudging email or Blackboard I send out to you one more time, because it's going to be the last warning, and Jim's taking note of this, that I've been doing this. It'll be $93 after August 31st if you have not secured a date. Yes?
Did the sign up when we had our first appointment with their?
Correct. So if you've sat down and had the one-on-one with the Hotwire and you agreed to actually have the service, you have a date. You're good to go.
Okay, what if they don't install until after the 30th?
Not to worry about it. That's what I'm saying. You have to have a date secured before the 30th. If it goes into September, don't worry about it. Your service is still going to work until Hotwire gets running. I'm sorry, what was the question? Somebody said something about Spectrum. Oh, okay.
I'll ask a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a number that we can call you to check on whether or not we're signed up?
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to ask him for a sheet showing what the dates are for everybody who's been signed up on what date and what time. I haven't got that yet.
Okay, I don't know if I've signed up, so is there a number?
So I was gonna say, they've given me a sheet to say who's responded and who hasn't. They haven't given me details as to what the install date and time is. So I'm gonna be going through that list today, and if your name is on that list where you have no response, you're gonna get a Blackboard. And it's gonna have a number on it saying, last chance, call this number if you want the price at $42. If you don't respond to it, then I'm gonna put you down that you don't want the service, and you're not gonna get the price. Sorry, one second.
Right now, senior TV,
Yes.
hardware, monthly bill.
Correct. So you're gonna continue to get billed. There's nothing gonna be changed in the billing.
Yeah,
Once
but
you,
the senior TV is part of our monthly bill.
correct.
Right, so this $42 is part, it substitutes and goes into our monthly bill?
Correct.
Or is it added to our?
No, it's substituted in. Once senior TV is gone, you're gonna see an increase of $2, from $40 to $42. That $40 that you're getting right now, saying for senior TV, the charge is still gonna be, it's not gonna be $40, it's gonna be $42 for Hotwire, and it's not gonna be senior TV anymore.
I thought the $40 was for the internet.
Well, right, so you're absolutely correct. When you guys originally came in, senior TV is broadcasted throughout the whole community. If you wanted to have internet, there's an upcharge of $40. Since we're moving away from this provider, the new package, to be able to get the TV and the internet, had to be bundled in one shot. You cannot separate, oh, I don't want TV, oh, I don't want internet. If you want either or, you get them both. And it's at $42 until August 31st. I almost want to say, can you repeat that after me, but I'm not going to.
August 31st.
August 31st, $42. $93 after, September 1st. All right, oops, last one, I gotta go. I don't want to keep this up.
When I had my appointment, I asked about another remote. She said they'll take care of that when he comes to set you up.
So they're asking about additional remotes or additional HDMI sticks. Well, when you guys sign up, you automatically get two HDMI sticks, which you can plug into any two devices, and you get two remotes at that time. If you choose to get a third TV, you end up getting a third remote with a third HDMI stick, and that's that rental of, I think it was $8.99 a month. For the above two, there is a charge. But within two, it's the total $42.
So is that the guy that's gonna come install the stuff, that's when we tell him?
That you want more?
Yes.
No, that was supposed to be done during your consultation.
She told me no.
Okay, well, she was indicating that they did not tell her at the time of sign up that she needed to let them know that she wanted more HDMI sticks for additional TVs. I'm not too sure how that got mixed up, but I will make sure that if you guys need them at that time, they have all the equipment here, and I'm sure what they can do is if you say, listen, I just want to add on an extra HDMI stick, it'll take them 5 minutes to come back, pick it up, program, put it in. But that additional charge does come directly through Hotwire. It does not show up on your bill from Village on the Green. That is something you deal with Hotwire directly with. Okay, please get up here quick.
Thank you. Carol, when you asked if he had a phone number, were you talking about for him or for Hotwire?
I guess for Hotwire.
Okay.
I just don't know
Who's who, right?
who's who and if I'm attached to anybody, if I've gotten any conversation or any of that.
Well, just in case you guys wonder, remember the Uniguest app is a wonderful source of information. Sean is listed in the team member directory, so, you know, he is a busy guy, but you can always leave him a message and hopefully he'll hear back from him when there's a gap in the action. Okay, oh, where'd that go? What?
Are we supposed to be on Flight Road?
Did Flight Road come before radiation? Yeah, and then comments are all on this side.
I'll try to master this high-tech stuff. But I'm going to tell you, I love what it's doing in my hearing aids. I hear better today than I've ever heard in one of the resident meetings, so it really is worth pursuing. Okay, I'm going to talk first of all about FLYCRA. FLYCRA, I really have a great regret, really, because I've had to postpone the April 20 basic session for a couple of the modules. It's really important stuff for everybody. But my house has encountered a medical emergency that we've got to deal with, and as well as one of the other team member that was going to help me. So we had no option. But But I really would like to encourage you to come to that event when we finally get it scheduled. It's only postponed for very good reasons. And I also wanted to foot stomp the visit of the president of Flicker, which is a guy named, good old what's his name? Yeah, Ken Shanahan. And Ken Shanahan is for me the brightest star in flight club presidents for a long time. He really does have a vision for residents and a passion for them. I think you'll really enjoy that. He will be here in this very room on September the 24th. We're going to keep the day rather simple so that we spend most of the time with residents and questions and answers. So I hope you'll put that on your calendar. September 24th. I think it's, I don't remember the time, but it'll be, we'll have plenty of promotional stuff out there. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right. I wanted to, we're not too early to mention, as you know, Brady Wilkins does 3 events a year here. We start with an orientation that if you ever wanted to learn how the scholarship program works from the bottom up, we have an orientation that residents are invited to, but it's primarily for the applicants to know how to make out the applications, what the time frames are, what the degree program's all about, and how to get into competition for the scholarship awards. That happens on the first weekend of the year, so I'm not talking about that one. Second one's the award ceremony. Most of you have been to that award ceremony. The third and last thing of each year is always our resident appreciation meal. And that meal does 2 things. First of all, we take the time to personally invite everybody that's moved in since August of the previous year. We guard seats from it because it's the chance to be introduced to what Brady Wilkins is all about. So if you're fairly new here, you're going to get a personal invitation, but after the RSVP date expires, then we come to the rest of the community. We have never had one in my experience that hasn't been sold out. So I want to tell you in advance, it's always a full house. It'll have speakers and a lot of activities. And that is the last one of the year. What's our focus then? Not on the kids, not on the awardees, but rather on the residents, both those who contribute sweat equity and help us put it all together, which is the Brady Wilkins Scholarship Board primarily here, and the CFF people that do the back office stuff downtown. But it's also to be the acknowledgement of those donors, those financial donors that make the scholarships possible. So I hope that you'll put that on your calendar too. And so thank you very much.
Sue would be so proud of Sue because we're going to get, we'll finish early. But my friends, it is that time. You know, you've seen the football around. I hope you've seen it on your bulletin board or somewhere. But you know what's coming, and it's so exciting. This is just a wonderful time of year. Number one, the Packers play tomorrow. And Del and I have already talked about that. Are there any other new Packer fans here? Ooh, Della, we gotta hold this down. The other thing is college football starts, and I looked it up, and I think it's UCF starts first on the 29th of August, and then soon followed by FSU and Gators and Georgia, and then, wow, the world explodes as college football begins. At the same time, I hope things explode right here. And that is our time. It's our kickoff for our Team Appreciation Fund. And we want to look at this just for a moment. We have, and it's very typical because we do put our focus towards the end of the year, from the middle to the end. We try to express our appreciation to the team in different ways as we've had through the Green Horizon. And now we hope to be able to express our appreciation with a gift for the Team Member Appreciation Fund. As you know, it is the only way we can recognize over 300 non-salaried employees who work here, who work at the Oaks, who work to make sure that our lives are safer and better. And so we do a end of the year bonus, if you will. We're trying to keep it as a tip so that perhaps we can even work it into no tax on tips, but that's to be decided by the legislature. Anyway, our football is a little deflated at the moment. We have about $21,000. It's been contributed by 49 of our residents, and so we thank you very, very much for that. We are hoping by the end of our kickoff and by the end of the month of September, we'll just see a small dent left to be inflated, and then hopefully by the end of the year, and our giving year ends in November so that the team members can receive their money in December. And so we hope it will look like that, and we'll have a whole consternation about an overinflated football. So our goal is $150,000 this year. Last year it was $125,000, and we raised $135,000 for distribution, with an extra $1,900 that was given after November 28th, which then gave us the foundation to begin this year. But all of the money is distributed by hour. So those who've worked more hours here at Village on the Green receive more money, and those who are part-time receive what they have worked toward. But everyone, every server of any age, every cook, every line chef, Chaplain Tom, Treva, Tommy, all of our beautiful CNAs, LPNs, line chefs and servers and aides over at the Oaks, plus of course Dino and our maintenance folks, I mean all the wonderful people who help us. So it is time to kick this off, and we're going to do that. If you can imagine, we get Elvis this Friday at happy hour, and wait until we see what we get next Friday, a week from Friday. It'll be a tailgate happy hour kickoff. That was a lot to put on one slide. Here in this room, during happy hour, 4 to 5, and because of the generosity of several of you who have given us bar tickets, our beautiful famous yellow bar cards, and to Jim's great delight that those are being used up for a great purpose, the beverages will be free, the food will be provided. We have a lot of great tailgate nibbles. We will be able to see some games on the screen. We will have fight songs. We will have an opportunity also to do just a lot of fun with conference kickoff. And we'll have right up here, we're combining some of the smaller conferences, but we'll have a bag for each of those conferences, and you may buy some tickets in order to vote for your favorite conference. And we know that we'll have the SEC well represented, because we know we have a lot of those folks here. But I know there's some other SEC fans here. We've got some Georgia and Alabama and others who will want to contribute to the SEC fund. We also have some Big Ten and fans. So, you know that Big Ten has grown to Big 16, but there you go. Those numbers don't mean much anymore, other than when I was in school, the Big Ten was a big deal. For whatever reason, my Wisconsin shirt just has kind of shrunk over the last 15 years, so I couldn't do that. So we'll be voting for the Mountain West Conference, which will be combined with a couple of the other small ones. So I've got Lee's Air Force shirt on, and I had to wear my red for my Badgers. And no matter whether you even care about football or not, I didn't have, I'm sorry to say, an FSU shirt, but we'd have the ACC, or we'd have our Wake Forest fans, we'd have that sitting right here. But I left that space for the most important team of all, and you know who that is. No matter whether you support football or not, whether you care about one conference or not, the team, of course, that we need to care about most is our VOTG team. So it is my great excitement to be able to say thank you to our committee, thank you to Lifestyles, and certainly thank you to Jim for the great support that we'll have in kicking off and then continuing our campaign to vote for our best team, friends. Thank you. You can put money there in the Green Horizon. Will always be ways you can donate if you have any questions. There's several members of our committee who belong to different buildings, and certainly Jill and I in the Village, we can answer any question. We're so excited. And as are the team members. They've been asking, they saw the footballs, they said, we're ready, because they know that we really love them and care about them, and what a beautiful way we have shown in the past how much we do really appreciate them. So let's do it again. Thank you so much. it through when you sit down, you remember the exact thing you should have said. You see that word at the end there that says there will be prizes. Okay, when we were talking to Jim, we want, because they're going to be drawn, there'll be tickets drawn from the bags that have the most tickets, the second most tickets, and the third most tickets. And we said, okay, Jim, what do you think if we had like a $20 gift card from Publix and a $15 and a $10? He said, what? He said, that's not the incentive. So one of our prizes, at least, will be dinner for two at the chef's table. So, for your investment, the tickets will be 2 for $5, 5 for $10, or 15 for $20, so you bring some cash. But you can contribute to the Team Member Appreciation Fund, have a lot of fun, have free drinks and food, and you may win a trip to the chef's table.
Okay, so everybody knows we just celebrated the LifeSpace 50th anniversary, and the resident council determined that they wanted to send a thank you note to Jesse because he could have been at any of our properties and chose to spend it here, which was pretty amazing. It was great. It was kind of a new start in our relationship with him, which has had its moments. And so we did send him a note, and this is part of the response from him. It was truly a joy to celebrate LifeSpace's 50th anniversary at Village on the Green. The warmth, pride, and candor I experienced in my conversations with residents and team members made the occasion especially meaningful. I left feeling encouraged and energized and ready for the next 50 years. And I know a lot of people who've spoken with him had really also good, meaningful conversations. So I think it was just a plus for all of us. And I got a chance to talk to him a little bit and shared with him just how proud I am of this place. Anybody who knows me knows I'm an unabashed cheerleader for Village on the Green. I love it here. And I've been thinking about different ways that we show we're good citizens here. You know, this is our home territory. And so I was thinking about what kind of ways we're good citizens. And one of the ways is the little stuff, you know, leave the newspaper for somebody else, close up the umbrellas because they will shred if there's a wind. Just little stuff, or be kind in the way you make your observations to other people, or state your opinions. Very important in our shared experience here. Then, you might want to make a slightly larger impact by getting more involved with the way we do things here. And I wanted to talk about the fall elections. You'll hear more about that next month. We do this every year. We have these elections, and you have a chance to have a voice in the way things unfold here. It's a great way to get to know how this place operates. You don't have to be, you know, here for 10 years before you think you have a right to make your feelings known or to advocate for the people who live in your surrounding area. Just in case you want to know who the elections involve. It is elected committee chairs, culinary, finance, health and wellness, lifestyle, plan ops, sales. There's more to come on all of this. There's building reps, biller reps, and that is what makes up the resident council. Then there are the appointed people. More on that later. I don't want to, you know, bore the life out of you, but we have a lot of different moving parts, and always looking for input and fresh ideas. It's worth doing. So come to the meeting next month when Sue will be back, yay, and you'll probably hear more about that. Until then, this meeting is adjourned. Under an hour.